UT Energy Week is a conference, energy-related conference that is put on by a group of student volunteers at the University of Texas, the Longhorn Energy Club. And this student group curates and develops a list of topics and themes that they're interested in. We get some logistics help from the Energy Institute, but it's entirely student run.
And Energy Week is also a really cool opportunity for students to develop relationships with experts who really lead their field in all different kinds of energy. So one of the cool things about Longhorn Energy Club is that we bring all of the colleges together. We have people from the School of Engineering, School of Geology, Policy, Business School, and more. So I think that this year really reflects student interest because truly the content is student designed.
The conference is driven by students, the themes are developed by students, all the work is done by students. It definitely comes from the perspective of younger people who are really interested in getting involved in the industry and want to find out more about certain themes. I think for students, the biggest opportunity is probably the opportunity to network, but also education. I think it's a really interesting time to learn, kind of find out a little bit about what's new in the energy sector, find out what other students are passionate about.
So Energy Week is intended to be a learning experience for students, faculty, and industry professionals about a broad range of energy topics. And we put a lot of work into making sure that there's openness and the dialogue in these panels. We very purposefully invite in kind of diverse groups of people who will actually disagree with each other a little bit. So it's slightly academic in that sense, that we really try to get people to push into some of the nuances of the content.
It's exciting for me to be a part of the panel on energy storage. I think not surprising maybe to some of you. I don't agree with all the statements that were made by the previous panel about whether regulated T&D utilities can own or should own storage.
So the panel I helped put together is about resource adequacy planning in ERCOT, which is the grid operator in Texas. And this is a pretty pressing issue right now because there's concerns that reserve margins of some of the power generation assets that help us all have electricity every day, that those margins are shrinking. So this is a pretty interesting debate right now. It's super pressing.
This December, the planning reserve margin for the upcoming summer was predicted to be 8.1%. And since that time, in fact, shortly after that report came out, we had some plans mothball go into long-term out-of-service status, and it dropped it to 7.4, as the slide indicates.
For example, one of the panels on energy storage and some of the policies around energy storage and how sort of regulations can be changed, or maybe we should be rethinking regulation to promote energy storage in the electricity sector.
Raising electricity bills when appropriate is one of the core functions of my commission. But I am saying that doing it through rate-based raises a fresh set of concerns. It's one I think we all need to think about, and I hope we'll kind of think through with me as we figure out how to do this stuff. Because we were just talking earlier, I am not yet convinced that a couple in rural Sonora, Texas, who's living, an elderly couple living off Social Security, should have a 15% rate hike in their utility bill just so I can drive my Model S down to Marfa for a weekend and catch an art show. We need to be more careful about the way we do that stuff.
Some pretty interesting ones that we've gotten a lot of kind of external interest in is we have one on funding renewable energy infrastructure in Africa.
China has massive and sustained trade surpluses with most African countries. I was in an African ruling party headquarters just a few months ago, and the guy was sitting in a desk given to him by China, with a laptop given to him by China, with cell phones given to him by the Communist Party of China, a printer, the TV behind me, the Communist Party manifesto of Xi Jinping sitting upon the man's desk. Wake up. China's role in influencing African political parties is far in excess of anything we can imagine or even conceive of.
The second story, I was in Mauritius and I got in a cab, and they're building this smart city, essentially. The panels, the equipment had come from a loan China had provided to Mauritius, and it also supplied the workers to Mauritius. So the only thing that will be left behind, for the most part, are the installed equipment and a smart city that Mauritius now thinks it owns because it's owing China. But the citizens are happy. They see the US as disengaged, and they will take that from China every day to come. So thanks.
It's interesting to think about sort of some of the things that we discussed during Energy Week and how a lot of this is driven by students and younger people who are interested in finding out more.
We encourage you, even if you're not doing like an energy program here at UT at all, to come on in, listen. Chances are you're going to find it pretty interesting. Please join us and come learn about this really fascinating industry.